What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So for this horror news update, I have more of a question if people are going to feel if they believe there was a bait and switch done with this new Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot that Hulu is going to be putting out. Now we know for the longest time people have wanted a reboot or a continuation of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They've wanted Sarah Michelle Gellar to come back, and for the longest time she said, you know, it's not going to happen, she's not coming back. It would have to be like the perfect circumstances for that to take place. So we know over as time went on, she became more open to it. She became more open to, you know, if the right situation aligned, if the stars aligned, she would absolutely consider coming back and doing a reboot. And as you see from this headline here, and this was 2 months ago, and I'm kind of just setting the foundation for this conversation or for this update. So as you all may recall, from this update we got 2 months ago, almost 2 months ago, February 3rd, 2025, it says here, Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot taking shape at Hulu with Sarah Michelle Gellar starring. I'm going to say that again. Sarah Michelle Gellar starring. So, just as a reminder, just to refresh everyone's mind, let's take a look at some of the details from this article. And I'm going to put both links for the two articles we're going to look at in the description of this video below. So if you want to go back and take a look at it, and maybe I'm misinterpreting what we've read or what we've been told, let me know. So we have been hearing talks about a potential Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot for many years now, but none of those potential projects ever came with the extra bonus of Sarah Michelle Gellar returning to the role. But something has changed on that front, with Deadline reporting that the actress is on board to return for a small screen revival over on Hulu. Deadline reports this afternoon, quote, a follow-up series is nearing a pilot order from Hulu, with Sarah Michelle Gellar expected to star and Chloe Zhao is set to direct. Now, keep in mind the headline's a little bit worded different. This says expected to star. The headline, let's go back up and take a look at it again. At Hulu with Sarah Michelle Gellar starring. Okay, so we already have a little bit of conflicting content there. The new take is being described as the next chapter in the Buffyverse. Nora and Lila Zuckerman wrote the pilot. Deadline also notes in today's report, beyond the pilot order, I hear the reboot is starting a writer's room soon, a sign that Hulu and the studios have high expectations for the project going to series. It's unclear yet whether other original Buffy cast members would return. That is considered likely. And then we go on to a little bit about the movie that was done in 1992, the TV series, a little bit, so on and so forth. So let's go down a little bit more here. In recent years, the actress has made it clear, and this is what we talked about earlier, exactly what I said at the beginning of this video. The actress made it clear that she had no interest in returning to the role. I'm very proud of the show that we created, and it doesn't need to be done. Michelle Gellar told SFX magazine back in 2023. She added, we wrapped that up. Back in December 2024, however, she told Drew Barrymore that her feelings had changed. Quote, it's funny. I always used to say no because it's in its bubble and it's so perfect. Michelle Gellar explained on Barrymore's talk show. But watching Sex and the City and seeing Dexter and realizing there are ways to do it definitely does get your mind thinking. Well, maybe. The planned Buffy reboot comes from 20th Television and Searchlight TV, and a little bit more about previous run of the show, so on and so forth. And that's where this article ended. And we've heard very little here and there. One of the last updates we heard directly from Sarah Michelle Gellar, which I believe was on Instagram, was that they had already had soon after this headline, they had this writer's room already up and running, and she was like, wow, that was really quick. Things are moving really fast. And again, I think everyone was expecting, based on this, even though the wording on those two spots are slightly different, that she was going to be starring in this reboot. Now we jump to today. Now let's look at today's article. Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot series eyes new Slayer, Sarah Michelle Gellar to recur as guest star ? Okay, well that's a big difference. That's a striking difference between what was previously reported and what's kind of been alluded to, even more so after the initial reports by her, that now she's not even going to be starring in it, and she's going to be a guest star, which tells me she's just going to, if this is, let's say, an 8-episode run or a 10-episode run on this first series or season, that she will show up, probably in the first episode. She might pop up, let's say, in episode 3, episode 7, and then in the finale, episode 10, right? Just guest starring here and there. Very much like she did in Dexter Original Sin. So she was in that show, but she was, when she was, it was for maybe a quick 1 to 2.5, 3 minute scene, and that was it. Wasn't in a whole lot of that show, but she was in it. So now let's look at these details. Into every generation, a Slayer is born, and a new one may be on the way. TV Line reports that Hulu's potential Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot will focus on a new Slayer as the next chapter in the Buffyverse, with Sarah Michelle Gellar reprising her iconic role as a reoccurring guest star. Sources also tell the outlet that the new lead is a cerebral 16-year-old named Nova, likely a placeholder. Skewing more Willow than Buffy, the character is described very smart and a bit of a loner. Her friends will include Hugo, an out and proud nerd who comes from money, and Gracie, a young vampire expert who's an acolyte of Buffy. Casting is said to be underway on all 3 roles, although a pilot has yet to receive an official order. And then we go on a little bit more about who's involved in writing, so on and so forth. Let's keep going here. This has been a long process, and it's not over yet, Gellar wrote in a statement. I promise you, we will only make this show if we know we can do it right, and I will tell you that we are on the path there. And then again, a little bit more historics about the original series, and that's it. So just a side note here. I was never a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. Never really could get into the TV series, even the spinoff Angel. Couldn't get into either one of them. But I know there is a huge following, fan base for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, especially her in the role outside of the 1992 movie that we had before the series. So I'm wondering, what are the hardcore fans thinking about this? Do the hardcore fans feel that there was a bait and switch here? Do we feel that they were kind of maybe misled or duped originally when all these reports are coming out? Then she came out and made a statement that she would be returning, and now here we are 2 months later from all that hype and all the reports that it could just be really a guest star role, and the true Slayer, so to speak, of this new series is going to be someone completely different, a brand new character. And again, she might just show up here and there as more of a potential mentor role, and it might only be every couple episodes. It might only be 1 or 2 minutes here and there, and that's it. I'm not a big Buffy fan, so drop a comment in the comment section. I would love to know any of you out there that are Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans. What do you think? Do you feel this was a bait and switch? Do you feel that, hey, we were misled here? They really kind of set the tone that she would be returning in the role and starring in the series. Because again, let's go back to that previous article. It said Hulu with Sarah Michelle Gellar starring. And now we're here 2 months later, Sarah Michelle Gellar to recur as guest star. That is a big difference. And I'm going to say if I was a fan of the show, I would be pretty disappointed that that's the path now that they're taking after they really kind of got the fans hyped that she was returning to star in this thing. And the headline, it speaks for itself. I mean, it's in the headline. I'm not making that up. So I just thought this was an interesting horror news update that I want to share with everyone, especially you hardcore Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Again, let me know if you felt duped, if you felt this is a bait and switch. And are you still going to check out the new series if it does get the go-ahead for the pilot, and then from the pilot if it does get the full green light to have a full first season or first series produced and put out? So again, let me know down in the comment section. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.